Welcome back to NCC News. I'm here with Ben Castaneda, and a lot has happened here today in sports. So Ben, what's been going on?
Well, to say it's been an exciting day is an understatement. When you are ranked #1, you are going to have a big target on your back. For almost every week this lacrosse season, the #1 team has lost, and the UNC Tar Heels look to continue that trend as the #1 ranked Syracuse Orange travel down to Raleigh, where these two historic rivals took the field. John Desko was looking to lead the Orange to a 10-1 record, but the Tar Heels threw everything, including the kitchen sink, to prevent them from getting that 10th win. Albany native Luke Goldstock slips one past as he finishes with 3 goals for the day, and UNC is up 10-5. In the 4th, and Stephen Rafis scores on the move, and SU has rallied back, only trailing by 1. Now, if you feel like you've seen this before, you aren't alone. Final 2 minutes, Scott Furman and Andrew Helmer force the ball loose, and there is a dog pile for it. Sticks are everywhere. The ball's going to eventually find its way out, and Paolo Safari is going to take it all the way. He takes advantage of a UNC mistake and makes them pay for it, and we are going into overtime tied at 11. In overtime, the Orange are looking for an opening. They swing the ball around, and Sergio Salcido will shoot, and that's the game. Syracuse wins the game 12-11. The Syracuse duo, dubbed the best backcourt in the country, are going pro. Graduating senior Brittany Sykes was drafted 7th overall by the Atlanta Dream. She leaves Syracuse with the 3rd most points scored in history and now becomes the highest drafted women's basketball player in school history. The other half of that duo watched from her home, and her work on the court paid off. Alexis Peterson was drafted in the 2nd round by the Seattle Storm. Peterson joins North Syracuse native and UConn alum Brianna Stewart, who was drafted last year. The team said they were surprised Peterson was still on the board and that they needed a point guard to back up WNBA legend Sue Bird. Peterson was overcome with excitement as she realized she was now playing basketball professionally.
I didn't know when, and just finally hearing my name called, I was overcome with joy. I couldn't believe it. It's a true blessing just to have the opportunity. I know not many players get this opportunity, and to finally hear my name being called, it was just a huge blessing for me.
Syracuse center forward Brianna Day did not hear her name called on draft night despite coming off her best season, averaging 13 points a game and shooting 55% from the field. It is expected that she will sign with a team as a free agent. To the association we go. Round 1 of the NBA playoffs, and the #2 seed Cavs host the Indiana Pacers. LeBron James is going to steal the ball. He'll pass it to Richard Jefferson, gets it back and slams it home. The Cavs lead by 12 near the end of the 3rd. Under a minute now, and Paul George with the ball. He's going to pull up from beyond the arc, and we have a game. Pacers only down by 1. The Pacers have clawed back, and on the final possession, Paul George is going to be double-teamed. He's going to find C.J. Miles. He pulls up from inside the arc, and it falls just short. Cleveland walks away with the victory in Game 1, 109-108. Game 2 is on Monday. Well, the NHL is also in playoff mode, and the New York Rangers are playing the Montreal Canadiens, and the Rangers are looking to take a 2-0 series lead in Montreal. In the first period, and Michael Grabner is on the run. He confuses the goalie, and we are tied up at 1. Let's look at that again. Grabner with the beautiful triple deke. Montreal with no goalie and 30 seconds left in the game. Thomas Pulkanik is at the right place at the right time. He deflects it in, and it is time for some free hockey. Now, there's no shootout in the playoffs, so first goal wins it, and Alexander Radulov will poke it in for Montreal, and they take Game 2, tying the series up at a game apiece. Game 3 is on Sunday at Madison Square Garden. The Syracuse Crunch are looking to not only get into the playoffs, but also win their division. They're going to need some help for the latter, though, as not only do they have to beat the Utica Comets today, the Toronto Marlies would have to lose their game. As we all know, crazier things have happened. The Crunch hosted their in-state rival Utica in the beautiful War Memorial. In the first period, and Jonathan Racine's shot is going to get deflected, and Henry Ikunin rips the rebound, and the Crunch are up 1-0. Only 10 seconds later, and Joel Verman's going to drive it to the net. His backhand shot can't go in, and rookie Brent Howden taps in the rebound, and the Crunch lead by 2. We finally move to the second period, and the Crunch are on the move. Ikunin finds John Kurtz on the dive. Kurtz gives the crowd something to cheer about, as Syracuse goes on to win 5-2, and Toronto lost their game 4-1, making your Syracuse Crunch winners of the North Division. To the diamond as the Mets travel to Miami, and as Jubal Cabrera gets a 2-out single to drive in 2 runs and ties the game at, well, you guessed it, 2. Bottom of the ninth now, and Miguel Rojas with a deep double. It's going to bounce off the wall. But look who's out over there. It's Yoenis Cespedes. He's going to use that cannon of an arm to find Cabrera, who then is going to gun down the runner at home. 2 outs now, bottom of the ninth. We're still tied at 2. Next batter, the pitch, and JT Riddle tells the Mets still to try again next time. The Marlins are going to win it with a 2-run walk-off homer. Now, don't worry, Mets fans. There's still only 6 months remaining in the season for the team to figure it out.
So, Ben, where do you see the playoffs going with the NBA? Do you think Cavs will win or the Pacers in this playoff season?
Well, the Cavaliers are such a strong team, and when you have LeBron James in playoff mode, he's virtually unstoppable. So I don't see the Pacers winning the series. They might win a game or two, especially when they go back to Indiana, seeing how close it was in Game 1. So maybe Game 2 will be close as well. But really, this is a LeBron James series, and it's the East. So I think he's just going to take over the East, and we'll eventually see the Cleveland Cavaliers again in the NBA Finals.
Well, thank you, Ben. Next, we'll take a look at the weather.